You are listening and watching to a very special podcast. Here we have more on Rory Leigh. Enjoy! There was a tape that was discovered, made by Rosemary and her sisters. And it sounded a bit shattering at first, like sugary sweet. But then it became downright terrifying in the mix. There was only a few examples in there. The first one that was sugary, honeyed, and just sugar coating sounding was, "Hi there. Welcome. It is so nice to meet you. I'm so happy we get to wake up." But then it stops there and something is whispered in the background that says in a demonic, ethereal voice, "Go to sleep." And you see, you sure made a right choice. And another voice that was the same dark tone said, "You should have done that. You met a terrible fate, haven't you?" Then it continued. "You see, I'm so happy to be here on this earth. So why don't you all go to sleep?" "Don't go to sleep. You'll never wake up." And also, on a note, no one will ever abandon you. Abandoned by God. And also, you have to know, I am a true, wonderful, perfect person. I am God. But don't worry, you don't have to worry about being slow. You're too slow. So anyway, I just want to say that you yourself are pretty lucky here. You're going to die. We're all going to be great friends. I want to see your entrails all over the place. So let's all just be happy. Die. Die. Just die already. You savages. On the news report, it was said to be some sort of threat undercovering it all. But no one knows for sure what the heck it was. But soon, there were strange murders that was going on that had to do with crime lords, sadists, and also people who were involved with snuff films and how people were mysteriously killed and never seen again. And also people who burned people alive for the thrill of it. Thrill-seeking killers and a whole lot of more terrors. Unspeakable, brutal terrors. And then there was a cryptic message that said, "You're all boring. I'm looking for something new, something exciting. But you're not bringing anything to the table, to the autopsy table. I'm looking for a new challenge. Killing and killing. Oh, it's so annoying. All the killing, all of the murder. Why is this happening?" Victims were found. Photos were being taken. But boy, was it a gruesome sight to see. And to make matters worse, the whole thing was like a horror show. Or, better yet, it could be like something more dangerous than you would ever see in your entire life. Rory watched the TV bored out of her mind. But she was beginning to care less about the brutal stuff on the news. The strangest thing about this for her was that how could she listen to all these horrible, brutal things on the news while she was eating breakfast? That was the strange part. But she wasn't really grossed out by all this. Besides, she's pretty much a strong person. People would look at her and wonder, how can she eat after hearing all that? The thing that they don't know about Rory is that she had a troubled life. Nobody really could understand the pain she went through. She was just too busy stirring in her cereal. Some of the cereal was almost gone, and she requested for a glass. So the guy gave it to her, and he remarked saying, "You know, after hearing all that shit, I'm surprised you're still eating." Rory just shrugged. She wrote something down and showed it to him. The words said, "Oh, I've seen worse. It's not that terrible. There's a lot of sick things going on in the world." The guy behind the counter laughed. "Yeah, that's pretty much true. I bet you have a really strong stomach." Rory wrote something else down for him to see what it says. It said, "Well, I do get a little squeamish sometimes, but not all of this stuff bothers me. Besides, it just makes me think that these people who are victims, who are drug lords and all, maybe they deserve this kind of justice towards them. Maybe these people who were murdered are trying to do somebody else some justice in life." The man behind the counter pondered for a moment. "Well, that would be a little too extreme." "I mean, how would you know that?" Rory just smiled. Then she wrote something else down for him to see, and it said, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe, some sort of clown posse in their songs. Maybe they were influenced by that. I mean, I kind of listened to their music before, but I never thought about doing that kind of stuff." The man behind the counter sighed. "Oh, clown posse. I know exactly what band you're talking about. Man, oh man. You sure know how to deal with things just fine, don't you?" "Well, you got a point there. But who knows if it was influenced by music. People always blame stuff for that, you know." Rory nodded, agreeing. So the guy went back to cleaning up the tables a bit. After Rory had drank her milk, wiped her hand down on her mouth, cleaning herself up, she then pulled out her wallet and put money down and was about to get up when the guy called out, "Oh, you're leaving?" Rory nodded. "Ah, I see. Well, come back maybe around lunchtime if you want." Rory nodded. But then she had an idea, pulled out her notepad, flipped it over, and wrote down her answer. "How about tomorrow at around noon? Would that be okay? I really like this place. Good service. And you're pretty good too." The man behind the counter laughed. "You're too sweet, sweetheart. Go on. Go have fun." Rory was walking away when all of a sudden she could have sworn she might have saw somebody doing a skip hop away. Rory looked over. She knew it was Rosemary. So Rory decided to follow in suit. The figure of Rosemary skipping led Rory all the way to some sort of dock. That's when she saw her sister going over to a boat. Rory was curious, wondering what the heck was her sister doing. As she was approaching, she could have sworn she saw a black figure. She turned around. In the sunlight, it was hard to tell who it was. But she could have sworn she saw flowing, untidy hair, a long but tattered dress. Arms were so skinny. Her face was as pale as the moon. Pale as the moon, all right. The jealous and bright moon. And there were flowers adorned around in the figure's hair. Rory could have sworn she heard a voice calling to her. Stephanie. It was a sing-song voice. Rory knew it was her mother, Ophelia. Ophelia came closer. She walked there with her bare feet. Her ankles had flowery anklets. The flowers looked like they were wilting and dying. Come to think of it, they always look like that around her anklets. As Ophelia got closer, Rory stepped away a bit, frightened to see her mother's beautiful face, but yet it was very, very terrifying. Rory then sprinted, but her mother teleported after her, blocking her. Once getting in front, Rory jumped back. She went to the boat that Rosemary was in. Rory managed to hide. However, she looked around to see anything. Just then, she thought she heard something up. Thump, thump. Then she went down below, where downstairs was, despite the boat size, but something about the situation wasn't right. She looked below, down to the window. It looked like some sort of window, like an opening for anyone can go swimming in. When she peered to the downward window, she saw a face staring back at her, and it had a bit of red around them. Rory jumped back in horror. She fled from the boat, scared of what she had seen. Then, as soon as she was gone, she turned around and saw that same exact boat she came out of was on fire. Rory couldn't believe it. The fire department was coming in, and then people were around, scared that something wasn't really right about this situation. Rory could feel her heart beating in her chest. And then she could hear Rosemary's maniacal giggle. What a psychotic monster. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.